So let's move on though to the reopening of the York building and the policies that come with it. So I guess the most important question is, will students and faculty return in the fall?
Yes.
Okay.
Students and faculty will return in the fall. Students and parents will have the option of whether or not they want to return to the fall or not, because we're going to do both. We're going to have classrooms, but we're also going to Zoom the classes simultaneously and synchronously to the home. So if a parent decides, or a child decides, or the child is sick, or for whatever reason, the child stays home, then they can see it at home and come back when they feel better or whatever. We're also giving the parents the option of deciding to stay home. And some parents may take that option. You may also say, what happens if you get a case of COVID in the school? And you may have to close the school and do deep cleaning for 3 days or for whatever the medical advice is. We are asking urgently, but for people to be tested before they come to school. The problem with the current testing is that it takes days before you hear. So let's say you're tested on Monday and they tell you on Friday, what about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? You might get COVID. So these are all poor situations in which we have to do our best.
Yeah, I mean, you're not in a great situation right now, obviously. I mean, the school...
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best.
But I'll do our best, and I anticipate that pretty well everyone will come back to school, and there will be some allowed, and that we will be able to handle everybody in school. So the 1 week in 5 is a worst case scenario, not a best case scenario. 1 week in 5, okay, you can handle it. It would be, so your child goes for 4 weeks and 1 week they'll be at home. But that would be a worst case scenario. Equally, if parents have critical issues, so they really have to work, let's say you have single mothers who have to work, they would be 5 weeks. And they would not be in that 5th week cohort.
Can like parents on a whim be like, well, actually today, you know, I may want to change the schedule, but can the student stay home for like 3 days and like come, you know?
The Governor Cuomo yesterday said that he would not be surprised if the day before school starts, parents then decide to keep their child home.
So you're not really expecting a lot of, if they want to stay home, they can. It's not a problem.
The first option for parents will be, I expect my child to come to school, but that's not a requirement. The second option is, I really don't think my child is not going to come to school for the first quarter. And the third option, well, there's no third option. I mean, the first one gives them leeway. Of course they have leeway. Parents may decide things will change. If we have a second rise, if we have a sudden dip, we'll go with the flow.
So a question asked by a student was, will we have an orientation and will it be online or in person?
It will be online, grade by grade. The only difference will be, and we'll have a parents' orientation too, which we don't normally have. We'll have parents' orientation with questions and answers. We will have new teachers here in the chapel, so to be socially distanced, and we will have new students by grade here, because they need to get to know the layout of the school before school starts. But there aren't that many for each grade, so but in terms of regular orientation for returning students, that will be online.
And this, I kind of know the answer to this already, but face masks have been proven to be to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
Yes.
The most frequently asked question by students is, will face masks be required for both students and faculty, and will it be required at all times?
More than face masks. We have 1,000 face shields and 2,000 face masks. So a face shield is that plastic thing, that goes over your face, and a face mask. We have enough face shields. We would prefer that students wear face shields and face masks, but they must wear masks.
Yes.
The problem, just so you know, the problem with the mask is it does prevent you giving the virus, but you can get the virus through your eyes. You know, it's a droplet thing. In your eyes, I don't know if you ever put anything in your eyes and you taste it in your mouth.
Yeah. I don't think I've done that.
NAFCON or something like that. You put stuff in your eyes, you can taste it in your mouth. This is one system. So face shields, that plastic would have a sponge there, very comfortable, much more comfortable than face masks, which I find uncomfortable because they get wet and hot. Whatever. Face shields, you peel off a thing and then it's pretty frog-free. Face shields, I think, are as good, and I would ideally hope that you have both. The other nice thing about face shields is you can just dip them in soapy water and clean them and use them again. You can use the masks. We have 1,000 masks that actually have a York Prep banner on them, and they're washable. But face masks will be required. But they're a pain in the neck. I mean, let's be realistic. You wear one of these things all the time. They get hot. They get unpleasant. I mean, I can't say that these are the most pleasant things to wear.
They're not. I can agree with you on that.
Again, the face shield. I wish I brought a face shield, but you know the face shield with a sponge?
Yes, I know it. Yeah, I can even put up a picture. Let's put up a picture.
Well, you know, so we have face shield for everybody.
Yeah.
3 face shields. We have 3 face shields for everybody. So we give one every week. And my attitude is to give one every week from whatever. I think that face shields have the advantage you can actually see people when they talk. It's tough to see people. I mean,
It's hard, because especially for teachers.
You're a bank robber, or are you putting in deposits?
Especially for teachers though, because they're like in the front of the room and they're not gonna be able to see what people are thinking. Like, there's a lot. People don't realize how much facial expressions play a part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So face shields. I'm a big fan of face shields, recognizing if we have both face shields and face masks, you can lower your mask, but you don't lower your shield. And it prevents you touching your face.
And some people wear their mask wrong. Frankly, like some people put it below the nose, some people, and it's just like...
I already put now a twist in
Yeah.
to get it tighter. But yeah, you're right. I mean, absolutely. The masks have a problem in terms of they're just a pain in the neck. Shields are much more comfortable.
Yeah.
So we'll have both.
Also, what other safety precautions will be in place for students and faculty?
How long have we got?
And will COVID-19 testing be required, and what frequency?
Well, let's take the last question first. Will COVID be required? We're urgently requesting it. The difficulty with COVID testing at the moment is that it sometimes takes up to 5 days or more to get results.
And it used to be 2.
It used to be, yeah, but ideally we're asking everyone to be tested. We're urgently requesting. That's about as far as we're going. We're urgently requesting. Certainly we're getting our teachers tested, with students we're urgently requesting. I hope everyone gets tested, but understanding there's a whack-a-mole quality about it, because you can get tested and then get COVID.
Right, as you walk out of City MD.
Absolutely.
Are there a couple of safety precautions that you wanted to like highlight, like some of the big ones?
Well, the big one, the big one is that as you enter the school, your temperature will be taken by one of these trigger things.
What is the threshold for that? Like, what would be
100 degrees?
100 degrees. Okay.
If you have over 100, we have rented an apartment across the street, which is a quarantine place,
Okay.
not in the school. So that if you have over 100, you will go there until someone picks you up and hopefully takes you to the doctor to find out if you have COVID or not. Now, we'd hope that parents actually would take their temperatures on an ideal basis before, but you never know. So we will do the temperature of everyone coming to school. We won't allow non-student teachers or just to come to school. They'll have to wait outside. And we'll space the children until this temperature is taken, but it's instantaneously. The temperature guns are instantaneous. We have 2 entries, so there'll be a Columbus Avenue entrance and the Park Avenue entrance, so that we have, and if you think about students coming in, about half the school is in Jumpstart, so they come in at 8, and the other half of the students are in regular classes, not in Jumpstart. So you talk about 150. One of our huge advantages is we're a small school and have lots of teachers. Our teacher-student ratio is actually better than 1 to 4, but we don't normally advertise. It's better than 1 to 4. We have lots of teachers. And so teachers teach usually 4 classes, not 5 this year. And there are lots of teacher time to make sure that the bathrooms, we've redone the 4th room bathrooms, that the bathrooms are suitably spaced.
All of them redone, or
just the 4th floor?
Just the 4th floor. Okay.
We redid all the water lines so we have more water.
And I noticed that they're automatic faucets.
Everything will be automatic. All the bathrooms are automatic. You don't have to turn on a tap. We hope that break will have to stay in class. You can't have break milling. We're going to have arrows so that you stay to the left on the corridor. I mean, I could go on. Why don't I give you a list?
Okay.
The science labs are completely renovated, from soup to nuts. Each table is now a clover leaf, which means you're suitably socially distanced, and there is going to be perspex between each student. So the science labs are totally new, state-of-the-art perspex between each student.
And the roof too.
The roof is totally brought back, no more bees, I'm afraid. So it will be a classroom up there, or a free space, or a place for the lower school to have lunch. And you could put lots of people. It's a huge space. So it's now a space. We have 40 new Purell stands added to the 10 we already have, so we have 50 Purell stands. And we're putting in plastic perspex dividers anywhere where they're not single chairs. So the art rooms and the Jumpstart rooms will have a Perspex sort of shield around so that you can talk, but there's Perspex between the teacher and the Jumpstart teacher. In the library, anywhere where you're sitting close to somewhere, there will be a Perspex shield, if not the 6 foot socially distanced. If you're 6 foot socially distanced, there won't be a Perspex shield. If you're not 6 foot socially distanced, there will be a Perspex shield.
Okay.
We've taken out all the shared desks. You probably saw them downstairs in the gym. So they'll all be individual. We ordered 80 new single occupancy desks. We're putting air purifiers in every class, which have UV as well as HEPA filters. We have also stockpiled equipment, not only thermometers, but I don't know if you know what the pulse oximeter is. It's a methodology of finding how much oxygen you have in your blood, and it's another indicator. We have lots of those.
Yeah.
The timetable has stayed the same, but we are having either at the beginning or the end when you change classes. So we'll try and work it on so that we have student compliance with safety measures as they proceed. We've ordered 15 new bike racks in front of the school with a sign optimistically saying, for your prep students only. Good luck with that. But anyway, so we have 15 more bike racks because I think the big issue with school is not school. I think school may be the safest place. It's transportation here. It's getting here on buses and on subways.
I mean, I know for myself, I'm not going to use the subway anymore. Like at least for the first part of it.
Exactly.
I'm probably going to be taking city bike or whatever.
Well, and exactly. So we have 15 more bike racks, and if we need more, we can add bike in the backyard.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I think that's a change. One of the other changes are now normally we have Jumpstart and teachers in the same room at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it doesn't work with social distancing. So Jumpstart teachers will be alone in their room at the end of the day with their Jumpstart students, as they will be before school, and the teachers will have to leave at 3:15. So the Jumpstart teacher will now have to be the liaison for their students. If they have a question, instead of directing, go and see Mr. So-and-so, they'll have to email, or they'll ask, and they'll email.
And will Zoom be used for
And
this too?
students will also be able to email. So teachers, instead of being at school for office hours from 3:15 to 4, will have to be on their computers waiting to get questions or waiting to Zoom, if that's what students want, until 5 or 6.
Okay.
Because you can't have a Jumpstart teacher and, how some teachers have 6 or so students meeting them after school.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
It really doesn't work.
Yeah.
Our business office has a whole plastic dividers, and obviously we're increasing our spaces. We've added another mental health specialist, a new doctor is coming. Mental health specialist.
It's a big crisis. The COVID.
It's a big crisis. Oh, for sure. So we'll now have 3. We have another tech person because tech demands are going to be more. We're giving teachers a new computer. It probably will be a very advanced Mac Air, and they will have a little camera which they can position so that it will be on them. I'd rather not camera the class because they're privacy issues. I want the camera to be on the teacher and on the smartboard. The camera will have a link, the Mac will have a link so it can download. There will be a little thing on the Epson clever thing on the smartboard so it can download to the camera. So each teacher will now have a Mac. This means that they can carry their computer and classroom materials with them. So the tower computers which were in each class will be gone.
Oh, you mean the Dell ones there?
No more sharing of keyboards. They'll be gone, giving us more. Every teacher will have a sort of podium. It really is a sort of a mobile cart, but they can put their computer on it, they can put the camera on it, and they can plug the computer in so they can charge it. And so that will be effectively the way that they will teach to the camera and to the class. Because we need to be able to do both. It's very difficult to teach both a classroom and Zoom, and we'll try and do it as well as we can. We did Zoom well. I think we can do this well. We've also increased the size of our Jumpstart staff so they will have fewer students in their Jumpstart cohort. I mean, we've tried also to give each teacher a packet so they won't have to share, I don't know, markers or all those things.
Yeah.
We're trying to do everything that makes common sense. Having said all that, it's risky getting out of bed in the morning. It's risky crossing the street. I can't put my hand on my heart and say, and I come to school 3 or 4 days a week at the moment. I'm talking to you, and I was going to come anyway, and I'm coming tomorrow. There's always a slight risk, but what we can do is do everything we can to minimize it, and that's what we're doing. And if we have to go to this 1 week out of 5, we will, but that would be the last resort we'd do. And I really don't anticipate it, but you never know. Now, things will change. The rate in New York may rise again, in which case the governor may say, you close. The rate may go down to 0, in which case the 6-foot limitation may be lifted and reduced to 3 foot. In England, it's now 3 foot. In which case, welcome back, everybody. I mean, great. And all things, things may improve. They may discover a therapeutic, and I suppose Mr. Trump is praying, they may get a vaccine, because that's how he would get reelected.
That's true.
But, who knows? The first semester is 5 weeks. And I suppose you take it as it goes. We have divided the classes, and we have so many classes. We have more classes than we need. Normal, but we don't. So we have less than 10. There is not a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade class that has more than 9. Perfect. Every one of our classrooms, even the smallest classroom, can take 9 6 foot. Because if your chair is against the wall, it's only this way, and this way 6 foot. You don't need this way because you got a wall. So you put the chairs around the wall. In the middle, you have hexagonal. We've studied all this.
So there's obviously a lot of research that has gone into this.
I could go on, Dylan. For instance, we used to say, as you know, the 6th through 9th have to put their phones in phone lockers. And we used to use lockers. Well, we just have to trust the 6th through 9th.
I'm sure they're like cheering right now. They're so happy.
We're just going to trust them that they're going to put the phones in their pockets and turn it off, because you can't have them cluster around the phone lockers. The same with lockers. We will give students books, but we hope, and I love textbooks. My textbooks I would have scribbled up on. My textbooks were never resold because I'd written some in there. We hope the students will keep their textbooks at home and bring their laptops to school.
And you have digital options.
And digital options. And every book has the digital option, and use a digital option. Anyone who doesn't have a laptop, we're giving teachers new Macs. We have lots of spare laptops. So if anyone doesn't have a laptop, we'll give them that. Clearly we're going to learn as we go along. But the e-books are going to make an issue. The labs are going to make an issue. For PE, let's hope we have good weather in Central Park. Here we come.